Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 4, Episode 24, DJI Mini SE coming to Walmart soon. Okay. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Cross your fingers. We're getting something we haven't had for a long time. A thunder shower came through here. In about literally 2 minutes before airtime, had a power flick. Okay. It flicked off for a minute. So we're back up. We're running. We're good to go here. So just hang in there. I hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, we have had some rain this week, which is a good thing. For about 6 or 7 weeks, we really haven't had any. So we need every drop right now. So hope everybody's doing well. Got a lot to talk about tonight, and it seems, this progression, sucking the air out of the room, DJI's turn now, so we'll get to that here in a few. Just got some, I actually do have some news here. It's just, there's not a lot out here, guys. Okay, let's see who's in the house. DeMarco is in the house. A great job last night, DeMarco. Enjoyed being on with you on Drone Nation. Sam Burns is here. Ray Kelly is here. T-Drone is here. Leonard Oglesby is here. Stephen Ewing is here. Good welcome there, Stephen. Drone Shots. Steve Mack is here. All right. Okay. IR Drone KC is here. All right. Actually do have some news. Believe it or not, I did find an article that I thought was newsworthy here. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with you guys. And I got to bring it back up because I had it up and then my computer took a dive. And yeah, so I don't remember where I found it. Okay. All right. Now, as you guys know, I look out on Drone XL. I look out on Drone DJ and on the Drone Girl, Sally French, for drone news, because if it's worthy of talking about and noteworthy, it'll be on one of those pages. So Sally French actually had a pretty good article today, so I thought I'd like to go ahead and share that with you guys. We all know who Kitty Hawk is, don't you? Okay. Well, Kitty Hawk is rebranding themselves, and they are now called Aloft or Aloft. Okay. They're wow. Okay. And I don't know if how many of you are aware of this or not, but they have been behind the FAA's Before You Fly app. They kind of took hold of this and kind of rejuvenated it and made it user-friendly. So I'll drop a link to the article in this description so you guys can go ahead and read this. But I thought it was noteworthy that because a lot of people, if you're going to go out there and look for Kitty Hawk, it's not out there anymore. It's known as Aloft right now. So just want to go ahead and have some news here. All right. Had some other news here, and I got to bring it up again. I did have this up before, and what can I say? Lightning hit, power went out for a minute. Yeah. So let's go ahead and bring this up. Now, there was an air show in Tennessee, and I don't know how many of you have seen this, but there was a drone up there while the Air Force was flying their F-35s as part as part of an event here. Well, I don't think you're supposed to be too close to that close to an F-35. This is taken from a drone, and there's actually a video, and I'll drop the link for you guys. To be absolutely clear, this video is not recorded by Drone XL. We do not promote or condone irresponsible, dangerous, or illegal drone flying. Okay, Yeah, this is all the above. This type of event always hurts the UAS industry and those who are careful to share the airspace safely, especially during an air show. The event was under a TFR, a temporary flight restriction, and it appears this person wasn't in contact with the air boss in charge of the TFR, sometimes flying at what appears to be the same altitude as the performers. They would have never seen the drone and could have had a dramatic ending, said Greg Riverdale from the Pilot Institute. So, and you guys, I don't have to tell you the rules about this, but this was at Smyrna Airport in Smyrna, Tennessee on June 5th and 6th. So, yeah. And, of course, you know, there's one bad apple out there, and it's spoiling a bunch for everybody else, okay? Now, let's move on to some good news, okay? This is definitely good news, okay? You can now go ahead and register for SpinUp. That's right, okay? Michael Wright broke the news to us. I got the link. We're going to go ahead and check this out here. Now, SpinUp is in person this year. We don't have to worry, COVID-19. Don't worry. No concerns regarding that as far as going there. Let's go ahead and get this up here so you guys can go ahead and see this. Now, it's in person and online, November the 6th, 2021. This year promise. There's automatic entry into giveaways, snack and lunch on event day, SpinUp 2021 t-shirt, access to the event, opportunity to meet the speakers in person. Okay. And I know that's something you guys will all want to do. Right now, it's going to be at Cedar Park Recreation Center in Cedar Park, Texas. And I'm going to go ahead and bring that up on a map. Let's kind of go ahead and blow this up here and see where this is. It's not in Austin, so it is a little bit of ways from Austin, but I'm sure Kelly's got a great venue for this. So, Kelly does fantastic work with all this, and, our hats off to him for organizing this and getting this together. So, stay tuned. There is more information about this. Let's go ahead and tickets are going to be from $99 to $140. They go on sale June the 10th. So if you want to hit the remind me button to make sure, I'm going to go ahead and hit the remind me button. So that's all taken care of. But they're from $99 to $140. They go on sale on June the 10th at 10 a.m. and it's going to be on November the 6th, 2021. And I'm sure as time goes on, Kelly's going to update this with who the speakers are going to be, what the prizes will be. Again, this is your save the date announcement. So save November the 6th, 2021, in Cedar Rock, Texas, which is outside of Austin, is where this event is going to be. And I'm sure there'll be more details regarding lodging and all that kind of good stuff. Kelly, again, he does a fantastic job at this. He's got a lot of people helping him. Our hats off to him for this is the 4th year in a row that he is doing this. So kudos to Kelly for this. Stay tuned for more information. We get anything else, you'll see it out on Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group, Facebook page. We'll get it out on Twitter. We'll talk about it on Rotor Talk Live. I want to make sure everybody knows about this. And if you're, and one of the other things it's really nice is if you're a member of, if you follow Kelly on YouTube, and you pay that monthly subscription, you get some. I'm sure you'll get some perks with this as far as getting the tickets are concerned. But there's going to be a lot of information coming out on this, so I don't want to screw any of that up. But yeah, it's November the 6th in Cedar Rock, Texas, an all day thing. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are really looking forward to it. It should be great. And there's going to be some great speakers there. There's going to be, more than likely DJI is going to be a good sponsor of this and have some great prizes that has not disappointed. And it's a great chance. beyond everything else and beyond the speakers and everything, I haven't had the opportunity yet to go in person. But from what everybody has told me, the big thing about this is getting out there and being able to meet people in person. I can tell you when I've gone to events here in Florida, local events, and have been able to meet people, that's almost as much fun or maybe even a little bit more fun than actually flying the drones. So, but anyway, this is coming up. I want to make sure all you guys know about this information so you can have it at hand. And again, let's go ahead. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the description right now, or a link in there. Let's go ahead and put that in there for you guys. All right, that's dropped that in. Hey, Matt Cundiff is here. Welcome, Matt. Good to see you. Fly Guy Merrill is here. Drone Views Media is here. Let's see who else has showed up. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, we do have SpinUp covered here. So that's a good thing. All right. Now, my Fimi Mini update, I received a notice that it has made it through customs here in the United States. So I'm excited about that. And I'm guessing it will probably be a good week or so before I actually see that. Now, the other thing that I've been informed, and I've gotten notice that it's shipped, is the other battery, the battery that makes the Fimi Mini 249 grams. So, as you know, we got lots of tests coming up with that. So stay tuned for that. But I'm anticipating, I would say probably today's what? The 8th. Probably another 10 more days. I'm thinking probably by late next week, it should probably be showing up. So stay tuned for that. And as soon as we get it, I'm going to fire it up. I'm going to do all the firmware updates before we take it out, just to make sure, we're good to go here, and crossing my fingers to see what we get. So, that's coming up. Looking forward to that. What can I say? All right. Now, you probably watched if you watched Drone Nation last night, we expounded upon Hubsan's woes, and we're going to get to those in a minute. But I wanted to start out talking about Hubsan, about the good news, okay? Now let's talk about some good news from Saturday's event. There's not a lot, but there is some good news, okay? I want to get this kind of squared away with everybody here, all right? The one thing is, okay, the drone took off. The drone maintained, it wasn't going all over the place, no fish bowling, and it had a good runtime at 42 minutes, somebody said. Now, I've seen a lot of comments about this. Oh, they probably shut off this. They probably shut off video. Video wasn't running, everything wasn't up in the air. Okay. You know what? Okay. That will probably translate at least to 30 minutes real world. Okay. So that is definitely good. And the other thing is we actually got to see the drone live. We haven't seen the drone live before, okay? We actually got to take a look at the controller, everything, Those are some pluses from there, okay? All right. Everything else, we're going to talk about that here in a minute, all right? One of the things that I want to kind of emphasize, and I know everybody has been just, bashing Hubsan with good reason, with good reason. We're going to get to that here, like I said, in a minute. We're going to talk about that. But let's look where Hubsan has been to where they are now, okay? Look how the Zino has progressed. And I remember both when Ron and Marcus both got the Zino 1, all right? And the trials and tribulations they went through. I mean, having to bend pins in the controller and, firmware after update, after firmware update, after firmware update. Marcus said for that price point, it's a pretty doggone good drone, okay? He said for that kind of price, It's definitely the Zino one is a good drone. And they've done the same thing with the Zino too. They have really taken to task with these firmware updates, and they've done a good job, okay? I'm not talking about the lens flare issue because that's hardware, okay? Solely hardware. Software is not going to take care of that. But they have addressed so many issues that can be addressed via firmware updates, and they've been very successful at it, okay? And I want to make sure that people understand, that there is some good news about Hubsan. Okay. I did not. Now, obviously there were some woes from Saturday. Okay. We talked a lot about this last night on Drone Nation, and I expounded upon it. And Ron and I had a chance to talk about it on Saturday. And if you get a chance to go back and watch our broadcast, I think Ron and I covered a lot of things on that. But one thing that I wanted to say here regarding that, okay, understand this. It was their marketing team, all right? Pure and simple. These were not engineers. These were not beta testers. These two were marketing, okay? And who they had running the show, they needed to, what Hubsan should have done, and they probably didn't have the money, but what they should have done was get some outside people in, some public relations people to run the show, okay? And still have the Hubsan marketing people there, but have some outside people in to run the show, because you saw people running in front of the cameras. The first cut at the live stream, there was no sound, so they had to end it, and then they restarted it again. There were a couple of dropouts as far as sound was concerned. And the translation problem. And I'm not saying, okay, let me back up. Not a problem. It wasn't that it was a problem. It was how it went, because he would speak in Mandarin, Chinese, and then she would read in English. And this went on the whole time during this live event, okay? And that didn't play out too well, okay? It really kind of elongated this event. It made it a lot longer than it should have been. Now, I know they needed to stall for time because they needed to let it go to 40, 42 minutes. And I understand that, all right? But it seemed also to the pre-video talked about Q&A from the audience, which was in the chat. There wasn't any Q&A, okay? It was all people typing sixes to try to get an opportunity to win one of the Zino Mini Pros, okay? Which, of course, I did as well. But people were going nuts, okay? And there were no questions in there. None. I did not see any out in the audience. I mean, it was kind of ridiculous, guys. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw any, but I didn't. Chris Hope's in the house. Hey, Chris, glad you're here. John Olson's here as well too. Good to see you guys. Yeah, it just, the professionalism, there was no professionalism to this in any way, shape, or form. All right. You saw the guy kept trying to hit the iPad that was sitting up in front of the speaker stand, that maybe they were trying to get an FPV view, but it never materialized. You never saw anything from that. Okay. And then the big faux pas near the end. Okay. As the battery life was getting down, the drone was getting closer to the floor and closer to the floor and closer to the floor. Okay. And mind you, that the person running the camera was also the person who was in charge of the drone. All right. He wasn't paying any attention. The drone bottomed out. Okay. And, the reason it did what it did was ground effect. Okay. With the props, pure and simple. That's exactly what happened with that. Then it crashed over into the side. Okay. So, all in all, it was probably an F as far as production value is concerned. We did get some good takeaways, and I know Marcus had a good point. This is not a good first impression for Hubsan with this drone. Okay. And Hubsan needs to come out of the gate running with this. You know, they need to do a good job. Okay, they need to put their best foot forward. They've had, you know, there's been so much going on with them. I mean, the Zino 2 with the lens flare issue. You know, this drone, the Zino Mini Pro, has promised a lot with this. Okay. You know, the other positive about this that I wanted to add to that, the weight, it was 249.2 grams. They made sure that we saw that. So, but all in all, you know, it was like, you know, I don't know what to say. It did not leave a good taste in anybody's mouth. That's for sure. Now, one of the things that, you know, our friend Lauren has posted, you know, they're getting theirs in on the 13th. You know, I know I've pre-ordered mine. I know Ron and Marcus have pre-ordered theirs. You know, and like I said, and we talked about it last night. You know, a lot of people want to wait and see what we think of it, which is probably a good idea. Yeah, Aqua Show. I'm sorry, I probably botched your name. Hubsan showed us a drone, but which drone was it? You know, a lot of people said, was it a Mini? Was it a DJI Mini? And a lot of people also said, oh, did they fudge the weight? Or did they have some? You know what? I'm not even going to go there as far as that's concerned. I'm not even going to go there. Oh, okay. Drone Views Media. There's a negative to the weight, Bill. Okay. We in Europe couldn't stay within the 250. We put ND filters on. That's a good point, Drone Views. That's a real good point. I mean, welcome, Lauren. Good to see you, sir. I just mentioned your name, and you popped on. Good deal. So, you know, first impressions. Now, we'll see when we get them out of the box, okay? And we go through them and watch our reviews. And I'm hoping that we're not going to be beta testers this time, like with the Fimi Mini. I hope this is fully baked and ready, but we'll see. And I think we're going to see shortly. I don't think there's going to be any waiting games here, okay? I ordered mine from Hubsan US, which a lot of people have done. I've gotten 2 batteries and a case with it. So we'll see. And we'll also see how this new feature, this internal storage, is going to work. And I got the 64 gig. So, you know, all in all, let's give this a shot. I mean, it was a bad show on Saturday. Everybody agrees about that. So, but, you know, is it going to be a bad drone? And that's the thing we need to keep in focus and keep in mind. You know, the marketing department could totally suck, but their engineering department could be spot on and put out a drone that says it's going to do what it's going to do. So, I mean, that's pretty much where we're at with that. Okay. We're just going to go ahead and wait and see. I mean, that's what we're going to do. So what can I say? All right. You know, the other elephant in the room. Now, you remember how, excuse me, you know, we talked about how Hubsan sucked all the air out of the room by their announcement with their Mini coming out with Fimi, okay? Well, it seems that DJI is turning the tables on Hubsan, okay? Because they're sucking all the air out of the room with this DJI Mini SE coming soon to Walmart, okay? You know, there's a lot of things we're going to go over some things here, and I want to spend some time on this because I think this is important. Okay, this is something that's going to get a lot of people's attention. It's going to get a lot of people's attention because of the price point on this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we've got several things to go over here. Now, the first one, this was shared on by Bob Morrow on Drone Nation, and you can see the screenshot. It shows a price of $299. Obviously out of stock. No, I mean it's not for sale. And you do see Mini SE on the side. Okay, this isn't a Photoshop. This is a real deal here. Okay, now let's go. I'm going to go ahead and switch this to Walmart's ad. All right, and there's a link all the way up at the top, so if you guys want to go ahead and check this out. Okay, and there's really nothing out here. Now it does show, you know, again, this is the controller that came with the Air 2 and the Air 2S. Okay, this isn't the controller that came with the Mini. So we just want to highlight that. Okay, one battery. Okay, extra toggles, the cables, propellers, screws, screwdriver. Okay, 249 grams, 30 minutes flight time, 2.7 videos, 2.5 mile signal range. Okay. So, and again, you know, it's telling you basically everything about the Mini. There's really no changes as far as the specs are concerned with this. Okay. I wanted to go ahead and get that up here so you guys can see that. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and go to now Drone DJ had an article here about this as well. New DJI offering has appeared online at Walmart. It's got a new name, the Mini SE, but is it really a new drone? And it talks about that. Is it really new or just a bundled original Mavic Mini with a new remote and a new name? Okay. And that's pretty much what we got on this. Okay. Now this was broken out by our buddy Acetalev. You know, he first made us aware of this and not too long ago, and this is making some noise. Okay, think about this, guys. $299 price point. All right, and think about, you know, what kind of what you get with this. Now it's 2.7K. It's not 4K. But think of all that you get with this. You get some of the you get the DJI technology here, all right? And you know, you don't have to, you know, people will look at Holy Stone and MJX bugs and, you know, other drones in this range, you know. And Marcus is on the quest to find the perfect drone under $200, and it probably doesn't exist. But this for $299. If this is what this price is, which it probably is, it's very worthy of your attention if you're looking for a drone right now. Don't even consider the Zino Mini Pro. Don't even consider the Fimi X8 Mini. Look at this drone, okay? And if you're driven by price and you haven't gotten a drone before, this is the drone to get. It really is. Patrick, you know what? It is probably a perfect starter drone. Okay. It really does. It gets your feet wet with DJI. The DJI Fly app is very intuitive. It's very easy to use. It's very straightforward. And it's a good way to get yourself going with drones. Okay. It's easy. I mean, it's so much stuff is done for you. It's automatic. You know, it's kind of a no-brainer at that kind of a price. That's a great price. Okay. And you're not spending that kind of money on a Holy Stone, on an MJX bugs, on, you know, some of these other knockoff brands that are out there. Okay. You're spending it on a DJI product. Okay. A pure DJI product. Okay. And that's exciting, okay? Rebranding it, yeah, sure. Are they trying to make money? Of course they're trying to make money. But you know what, okay? It's a smart marketing move by DJI because, you know, it keeps the conversation rolling, okay, for them, number one. And number two, it sucks a lot of that air out of the room from Hubsan, all right? Everybody had been talking about Hubsan. And of course, they had the big blow up on Saturday. But notwithstanding that, you know, people are talking about the Mini SE right now. Okay, and it's garnered a lot of attention, which I think, I think it's great. I really do. You know, yeah, Patrick he kind of nailed it on the head. Okay, it was $400, but now you knock $100 off of it, and everybody wants to get their hands in the pie, and that's a good point. Here in Dublin, the Irish Aviation Authority are making a move towards freeing up airspace for sub 250. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I mean, notwithstanding this, and coming down the pike this year, Mavic 3 is coming, and we all know that. All right. I said last night August, and and I know I know my good friend Michael Wright said, but I'm still sticking with August, and it's a 3-year anniversary. Not that means anything to DJI, and not that good weather means anything, because this is more geared. It is a prosumer drone, okay? It is a consumer drone and a professional drone. Somebody had made mention of the fact it's replacing the Phantom 4 and the Inspire 2. All right. Well, it's going to have to be beefy enough out of the gate to do this. All right. Will they have different models available eventually? Probably. But out of the gate, there's probably going to only be one model as far as a Mavic 3 is concerned. The other thing that I have to say is this too: you're going to see a new smart controller with this. I can just about guarantee you that. All right. And it's going to be, light years ahead of the first controller. It's going to correct all the mistakes. DJI learns from their mistakes, and they move on. Okay. What's the Mavic 3? I have no clue. Okay. But I believe they're probably testing it right now. And I believe they're probably gearing towards an August kind of a release here. Okay. I'm just thinking here. Okay. Because a lot of the hobbyists here. Okay. And professional photographers who use these. Okay. One of the most beautiful times of the year in North America here is fall, because of the leaves and the colors turning. And imagine being able to get up a Mavic 3 with a camera that is going to be absolutely incredible here, and to get those shots. Here's Mr. Ron Braun. How are you, sir?
Welcome in, everyone. Sorry I'm late tonight, Bill. How's everything going tonight?
We've had a lot of rain today. That's a good thing.
Okay, the drought's over. We looked like we were going to have a thunderstorm around 6-7 o'clock, and it kind of got close. It got dark, but nothing ever really hit, and then it kind of cleared off for a nice sunset.
Well, we had just been talking about the Mini SE, and what a genius it is for DJI. We kind of touched on it a little bit last night on Drone Nation, where it's kind of sucking the air out of Hubsan's room regarding their Mini, and it's kind of drawing people's attention to DJI's Mini again.
Mostly based on the price point, the proposed price point. We don't actually know the true price point yet, but we're thinking under 300 at the maximum.
Yeah. And Ron, it is so smart for DJI to do this right now, because everybody had been talking about, the Hubsan Mini, notwithstanding that horrific performance on Saturday. They were still, focused on it's coming out soon, probably middle of June. And everybody was talking about it, and then boom, this comes out. All right.
Yeah.
It's just DJI's marketing department is in gear. Okay.
And really though, this Mini SE, it is really getting marked at the beginner drone segment, and really the Hubsan Mini Pro is really not marketed at the very beginner. It's up a little higher because it has advanced features you find in the Air 2S series of drones, more so than the Mini. So they said the Hubsan Minis aimed a little bit higher than just the beginner. But I think, Bill, this SE is going to fill a very, very valuable spot, because right now it is very hard to find a under $300 drone that not only is a reliable flyer, but also is a decent video platform. Those things don't match up very often in the sub 300 world.
Yeah, you find a lot of drones that can fly well, but their cameras aren't worth a darn. And then you find other ones whose cameras are fantastic, but they can't fly well. Okay, and this is the best of both worlds, because this is a excellent camera for that kind of a price point of a drone, and the drone flies well. I mean, it's just it has everything that you could possibly look for, especially in a starting drone, especially for somebody coming new into this.
And I think we may have had this conversation in private, or Marcus and I had this private conversation in private. Things like and I'm not knocking Fimi, but the things with the Horizon or something like that's off now. We're all in our drone community, and we all watch each other's videos, and we all say, "Oh yeah, the Horizon, it's not too tilted, it's not bad there yet." But like that's only for people that are in our drone niche or whatever. If you try to take crooked Horizon video and take it out to the real world, I mean, people that they don't know anything about drones, all they want to see is good video. They're not going to accept a crooked Horizon just because you tell them, oh well, but the Fimi only costs $350. They don't care what it costs. They don't want to see a crooked Horizon. Imagine, okay, say you had friends over that knew nothing about drones, and you want to show them some nice footage of, say, where you used to live or whatever. If you show them footage where the Horizon's like this, the whole video, they're going to say, "What in the heck's wrong there, Bill?" or whatever. And if you try to explain to them, well, if the drone flies really well and it's really affordable, well, they don't care, because none of that matters to them, because they want to see a straight Horizon. Am I right?
No, you have nailed it, Ron. Because when people are looking for coming out of the box, okay, they want something coming out of the box. Like, for instance, I'll give you for instance, when we got our new TVs in our house, all right, we got a Sony. Okay, now I expect that thing out of the box to be golden. Well, it was beyond gold. Well, the one in the family room, it was golden. The one here in the den, it's super golden. Okay, it perfect. No adjustments, nothing. No firmware updates. Boom, it's ready to go out of the box. Okay,
no crooked Horizons.
No crooked Horizon. The color is perfect on it. It's sharp, it's crisp, it's clear. And the same thing here with DJI. Okay, when you get that out of the box, it may need a firmware update or two, but you can when you insert that SD card into your computer and download that footage, you're not going to have horizon tilt issues on that. You're not going to have a wobbly gimbal on that for the most part, unless it's a real windy day. I mean, it's going to come out looking like it should, okay? And it's going to impress people.
Yeah, I mean, just think, like, if you didn't get to the Sony, say you bought a real budget TV set for a fraction of the price of Best Buy, but you put up in the wall, you turn on, and Valerie sees it, and I don't know, it's all pixelated and it's not clear, whatever. She doesn't care whether you save the bundle, buying off-brand or whatever. All she cares about is, this thing looks awful. Take it back, Bill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've done that before, long time ago, but I have done that before. I mean,
yeah.
And for us, and I kind of made the point before you came on, we'll go ahead and get these sight unseen. Okay. Like you and I and Marcus and, Captain John and other people, we'll buy these because this is one of the things that we do. And based on our reviews, other people will make a buying decision on that. Okay. And I know both you, I can speak probably for you and for Marcus, you're up front, and I'm up front too about these, and, not as upfront as like Brian Singleton, but, we let you guys know the good and the bad with this. We give you our recommendations for this. Okay. For example, right now, and I was saying this before you came on, if somebody had asked me to buy a drone right now, I'd say buy this Mini SE, out of the minis.
So
buy that one.
Sight unseen, yeah. And I haven't seen the SE yet, but I would still recommend it over the Fimi Mini sight unseen. And I don't mean to be cruel to Fimi or whatever, but right now I wouldn't recommend the Fimi drone to anybody that wasn't a hardcore drone flyer that knew what they were getting into.
Yeah. It's just not. It's something that's going to need a lot of tweaking, a lot of software updates. So that's one of the stay tuned ones, and we'll find out,
Right.
what we've
Right.
got. And I mean, look at Marcus, for example. Okay. Both of his Fimi minis, they were like night and day. Okay. The results that he got off of both of them. So, I mean, it's a toss up. Who knows? Okay. And I'm, like I said, and before you came on, mine will probably be here. I'm thinking probably by the end of next week. So I'll be able to find out what's going on with that. So we'll see.
The magic firmware hits between now and then.
Yeah. Well,
and of course, from our generation, we're not strangers to software updates and firmware updates. I know you're a Windows guy. You remember Patch Tuesday, don't you? For years, every Tuesday was Patch Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
And always fixed a new bug that just seemed to pop up. But each patch kind of created another bug.
Yeah, and it kind of compounded the problem. I mean, I worked at a place where they had piled code on top of code on top of code, and it got to fix problems, and it's a mess when you do that kind of stuff. It never works right. Okay, even though it gets fixed, it never works right after that. And I think a lot of times it's best just to kind of start from scratch as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, I mean, again, I hate to turn this into this weekend PC, but in the old days, like, I used to recommend everybody used to buy a PC that came with Windows. They didn't have to buy Windows, but the only problem is sometimes the only way to fix your computer was to reinstall the operating system or whatever. But you didn't have it on disk or anything because it came pre-installed. So I always recommended, like, have your own copy of Windows. So whenever you get too far down a rat hole, you just back up and reinstall from scratch. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here. You're the IT.
Oh, I did that many times, Ron. It got to a point where it was so convoluted. You just had to kind of like just wipe the slate clean and run with it, because it was the more you were putting bad on top of bad. I mean, it just.
Folks, sorry to take you guys people back to the 1990s. We'll move back to our regular scheduled drone programming now.
I'm sure you probably saw all the news regarding SpinUp. It's November the 6th in Cedar Rock, Texas, $99 to $140. Really not a lot. Tickets go on sale on June the 10th, and I let everybody know about that. And I looked and I pulled up the map. I mean, this is outside of Austin, so and I'm sure Kelly's done a great job picking venues. So I'm sure this is a good venue to have this.
Yeah. If anybody saw one of his recent shows, I mean, when I say recent, in the past 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks, he thought he almost had a place nailed down, and this sounds like it may have been the place he was talking about in that recent video. So I love the idea of it being out of the city limits to give us more of a chance to fly drones at the event, because before last year at the Boy Scouts Center, I mean, they had like a little, they call it a lake behind, but it was like a pond, and it really wasn't much room to do more than fly like a small drone around for.
To do more than that. So but that's that's something that people I know have been clamoring about and wanting to get some information. And as soon as we get more info, we'll pass this on to everybody. It's going to be a good thing, and I think it's going to be good. Last year had to be online because of COVID, and this year we don't have to worry about that, which is thankfully that's a good thing. So and I'm sure he's going to line up some good sponsors as he did, and I'm sure there's going to be some great giveaways. So just, stay tuned for that. We'll pass all that information on to you guys.
And by the beginning of November, the weather should be very, accommodating out there. You won't have to worry about, roasting or whatever. Weather wasn't bad last time when it was mid-October, but the day of the event, it was like 90 that day.
Yeah, it was here today with 95. Okay. And, it's like I've been telling you, I was sharing with the guys last night. The water temperature is 90 degrees. Okay?
I saw your Facebook post on that too.
Yeah, and I tell people, so I said, it's kind of a nice thing having that nice warm water, but you go more than 2 feet of water, you better watch out, because I'll tell you what, guess what? That really warm water attracts sharks. Okay,
and up here it attracts the jellyfish too.
Yeah, and you don't want to. No.
You don't want to mess with either one of them.
Yeah.
I can tell it doesn't often get to 90 here at the Jersey Shore, but when it does, you don't even have to go put your toes in the water. When you see everybody in the water, even the people that don't go in the water, you know it's 90.
You know it's in it's
when I say in the water, I don't necessarily mean swim their head. I mean maybe just standing at their knees or whatever. But
one of the other things that I wanted to talk to you about, because you have an Evo 2. What's your reaction to this news regarding Autel and what they're going to be doing for the time being? They're going to be cutting production, and because of the chip shortage, and and they're going to come out with a new version of the Evo 2. What are your thoughts about that, Ron?
We talked about the story about a little bit last night, and not overreacting at all. My Evo 2 flies great. I love it, even if they don't do a whole lot of adding any software features to whatever. It's already kind of got everything I need. And they did say that the batteries that would make for the next generation would be compatible with the old one, which is a kind of a sore spot with a lot of users of the original Autel. What's the big drone they made?
Oh, the XStar Premium.
XStar Premium. When they discontinued, there were no batteries available, and it's still a sticking point. So again, my drone flies fine. They pretty much have done most of the firmware updates they need to do it, whatever. I'm kind of good. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really ready for the next version of the Evo 2 Pro, because the one I have now does everything I want to do. Mm-hmm. And so, even if the new one was available tomorrow, I probably still, unless it was revolutionary better, I still probably wouldn't buy it, because I'm good with what I have now. I hate to say it, but even when we talk about the Mavic 3 and so on, I may not be dipping right in right away. I'm still perfectly happy with my Mavic 2 Pro. I may just sit back, watch all the reviews, study it, whatever. I may not be an early adopter.
Well, that's one of the things, regarding Autel is, and we touched on it last week a little bit, how they have a new CEO, and he has a good pedigree. He comes from DJI. It was one of his stops in his employment journey. So he's no stranger to the whole drone arena. And I think one of the other things he's doing is he's probably wanting to take a step back. Excuse me. He's probably wanting to take a step back, because I'm sure Autel is probably not in a good financial position, because they've had some issues with that. And I think he's doing a wise thing, is taking a step back. They're going to wait for the chip shortage to kind of work itself out, and then retool and get Evo 2s back out again, and an updated smart controller as well. So I think that's a good thing, and this kind of puts the end to the talk that Autel was coming out with a Mini, okay? Because I know a lot of people have said, "Wow, if they put out a Mini, I'd buy it in a heartbeat," And that kind of ends that talk for now, okay? Next year, who knows?
Right, because maybe the CEO that was not there anymore, maybe he was against the Autel Mini, but this new guy coming from DJI, maybe he realizes the value of a smaller drone. The fear for a lot of people is maybe this guy's going to take a more enterprise oriented, since they have, they're sort of a kind of halfway to an enterprise drone anyways. And they do have enterprise versions of the Evo 2 with the FLIR camera and some other camera that you can add on. It doesn't surprise me, but the Evo 2 has been out over a year now, and one of the big problems with the Evo 2 was the swappable cameras. And really, outside of adding an enterprise camera, we haven't really, seen any new cameras for it. We already got the one in sensor, but how about a nice zoom camera to put on there, right? What about a one-in sensor zoom camera, whatever, to put on there? Why design it to have swappable cameras and then never offer anything?
Yeah, and again, I think what Autel thinks big, okay, which is good, and there's nothing wrong with that. but they're constrained by their finances. And because, we remember the CES that Marcus went to, it was at the last minute Autel got financing and they were able to have a booth at that CES because of that, because they had a cash issue, So, and again, I think that a lot of it probably, not having these hot swappable camera kind of things is because of the fact they have, they're just literally strapped for cash. So
now, I know Autel Drones is owned by a bigger Autel company that does something besides drones to make their money. Is that correct, Bill?
Yeah, they're into auto parts.
Okay.
Yeah, from what I understand. So their parent company. So and
how much does the parent company carry them along?
Yeah,
kind of like just waiting for them to hit a home run, and maybe they're not really worried about them making a lot of money at this point. They're just trying to hope that they're going to somehow kind of hit a home run in the drone market and take off eventually.
Yeah, and I would say this too, and I think for those of you who are looking to get an Evo 2, there might be some deals on them. Okay,
we've already seen some price drops over the last holiday.
Yeah,
yeah, like you said, some retailers that'll be looking to clear out stock. Basically to make room for the new SKUs that'll be coming out. And, we keep saying these new Autel drones. I don't suspect we'll see any of these new drones from Autel 6 months, maybe way past that, Bill.
Yeah, I don't think, these updated Evo 2s, I think we won't see them until probably January. That's my guesstimate. Just
and to remind the folks out there that don't realize why the Autel drones are so important to some people, like professionals, is the Autel doesn't have the DJI the geo zones, the geofencing that DJI don't have. And I know what you're going to say. Well, you don't want to be flying in areas that are geofenced anyways, but it's hard to explain. But the DJI drones, they geofence zones that are not no-fly zones.
Yeah,
the FAA, they go above and beyond and over geofence zones or whatever. So that's why the Autel drones are important to so many people that are professionals, because the worst thing you can do is show up to an important shoot that they checked on their before you fly app or Kitty Hawk or whatever you use. And it's good to fly there, but you get there and your DJI drone won't take off. I mean, that could ruin a professional's job. Or if you also have the Autel in your car beside the DJI drone, you just take the Autel up, get the shots you need, and with no fuss or whatever. So that is important to many professionals.
Yeah, you make a great point there, Ron. And with their and a lot of times it's hard to get some of those geofencings turned off. With DJI, I mean, a lot of times you have to email them and
especially if you show up a location that doesn't have internet. If you don't have internet, with your DJI drone, you may get. I keep hating these words, geofence, but you may get geofence that you can't take the drone up more than 100 feet or fly at 100 feet away from you, where the Autel doesn't care whether you're connected to the internet or not.
Yeah. And that makes perfect sense. That really does.
So that is a kind of a little niche there. Autel does have it going on. You mentioned about the smart controller. They're probably not going to make many for the current Autel, which I know a lot of people are looking forward to it, but you know what? At that price point of selling it for $1,200 or $1,299, it wasn't going to be a big seller anyway. So it's not a whole lot messed up, because most people have bought that triple tech tablet you mentioned last night, which is only half the price, and they get like a mount for it or whatever. And that triple tech, that's I forget how many nits, but a whole bunch of nits. I'm making numbers up, 2,000, but it's awful bright. So people have got a workaround, a more affordable workaround, rather than paying $12.99 for that tablet. So at that price point, I don't think the tablet's that big of a deal. Now, if for the next Evo 2, the new generation, they can bring a tablet out that's in the sub $1,000 market, or sell the Evo 2, the new Evo 2, in a bundle where the tablet comes in there, and that gives you a built-in discount. That may, that's where the tablet may.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point, Ron. Them being able to do that, and I think that's probably what they're going to do. Is my guess is they'll take the tablets that haven't sold, and they'll probably retrofit them to do the new Evo 2s, and they'll drop the price and bundle it. That would be a very smart marketing move on their part. It really would. So,
especially if you're marketing the Evo 2 Pro at a more professional user, not not a beginner, not even a mid-tier guy, but somebody maybe who is doing real estate or doing some kind of like some semi-pro work, or they're really just a real high-tech hobbyist, kind of photographer,
Oh yeah. Well, that's all I got for tonight, Ron. Do you have any closing thoughts here?
No, I'm glad you were able to, drop the story about SpinUp. I know a lot of people looking forward to it, and I hope you're able to go this year, Bill. I'm definitely going to try to make it this year. I know you were missed at the last one a couple of years ago, so
Yeah, we're gonna try. We have a coming up first week of July. We're gonna be up in Ohio for the week. It's our granddaughter's second birthday. We missed her first birthday because of COVID last year. So we're going to enjoy that. And then they're coming the week before Christmas. So I'm taking that week off. So taking time off
vacation,
a little tight for me. I'm not sure right now at this point.
Now, in all the information about, I didn't get a chance to check my calendar yet. Is a date on a weekday or a weekend? Because there was some talk about it being on a Thursday.
It's on a November 6th, and
we don't know what date that is on
I don't know what date it is. I did not look that up.
Well, while you're talking, I'm going to pull it up real fast.
Yeah, I did not look to see what kind of a day of the week that is, and two, there's no.
You said November 6th.
Yeah,
it's a Saturday. Okay,
it's a Saturday. Okay,
so you could people could that have trouble getting off could feasibly just take Friday off and make it a long weekend.
Take Friday off, stay the day Saturday, and leave Sunday. Yeah, they could. I have to take a look. I have to take a look at that and see where things are financially as well too. So that's just I don't know
about flight, but usually you can get like a cheap Spirit airline flight in Austin because a lot of budget flights go into Austin.
Yeah. That's something that I would definitely consider because that's a way to save some money over Southwest, unless you book way ahead of time. That's about the only time that you get any kind of a price break with that. So
remember when Southwest used to be cheap? Whatever happened with that, Bill?
Oh, I don't know.
Remember when we first started flying Southwest, they were the budget airline.
It was a lot of $29 fares here and there, and I'm like, wow, and now it's like they advertised like a $49 fare as a super budget fare now, and I'm like, wow. It's just.
This is your father's Southwest.
No, this isn't your father's Southwest, but so we'll see. I got to take a look. See how we are financially and see where things are. I would love to go. So, but with all that being said, had a great show last night on Drone Nation. If you guys watched the replay, DeMarco was on. We had Michael Wright was on last night, and we had a very special visit from Marcus Crawford, who we didn't even count on being there last night, and yours truly was on. It's a great show. Go back and watch it. We had a lot of fun last night, a lot of talking about Hubsan, so go ahead and definitely check that out. Guys, hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and as always, it's a great day to fly, guys. Take care. Have a great rest of your evening.